So Ja Morant, obviously, we know the previous issues with him and guns and the NBA and his suspensions and all that stuff and just kind of his legal troubles. Now, Ja has been fined pretty heavily by the NBA for some gun gestures he made near the end of a Warriors game after he hit a big shot towards their bench. And I think that Ja is displaying extreme amounts of immaturity. Again, knowing you have to know the time and place. You have to know that you're one of the faces of the NBA. You have to know it's like Draymond Green, right? Not to say that this is right, but when Draymond Green wows out on a ref because of his prior reputation, they're more likely to give him a technical foul. Mm-hmm. If you know that niggas know that you have these gun issues and you've been doing the most with it, of all the gestures and shit talking you could do, why are you pointing the gun at the bench? Especially when it's Stephen Curry, Dre, one of the more high-profile NBA franchises. It's a nationally televised game. Time and place.
Hey, didn't he hit the game winner too that game?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go, Ja. Fuck that, bro.
No,
I don't give a fuck, bro, about some finger guns.
I think this is pure hate.
Yeah.
Pure hate from the NBA.
People do finger... Anthony Edwards hit the game winner last night and gave us Black Ops 2 double guns.
Yes.
Yeah,
People do the gun shit all the time.
Yes.
I get what you're saying.
It's self-awareness.
It's a weak move. But weak move by the NBA.
Weak.
And now, so I don't like the way that the NBA has handled Ja.
Yeah.
And I don't like the way that they're trying to paint him. And it feels very Allen Iverson-ish.
Yeah.
Like they're just waiting to blackball him. I understand all of that, but now this is understanding the powers that be. We just talked about how it's unfair with the nepotism and all that shit, but that's just the way the world is. You can't change the world. You can't change that these corporations maybe have kind of already put these self-imposed things on you. You put yourself in this position. Before you were doing all the wrong shit with the guns and doing all the extra shit and get caught drinking in the club and looked a certain type of way, the NBA was waiting to prop you up. The NBA put you on the front of everything and gave you every opportunity to succeed. And you seem to be self-sabotaging. And that's something that we see in our community all the time. So we're just going to continue to allow it?
I don't like the way that you said that.
What?
I don't like the way that you said that the NBA gave him all these things. Because actually, let's go back to Anthony Edwards, right?
Okay.
I think we can all agree I'm not the most well-versed sports person on
Yes.
this podcast, right? But Anthony Edwards was talking about how he didn't want to be the face of the league.
Yes.
I'm assuming, based on his actions, that Ja Morant may not want the same things either.
Yes.
Why do these people have to... I understand that in order to be in the league, you have to conduct yourself a certain way.
Yes.
There's rules to every...
Yes.
Like anything, any industry you enter, you have to... There's certain codes of conduct.
Yes.
So to an extent, I understand why this happened, right?
Yes.
But I think that talking about how the NBA gave you all these opportunities and all this different stuff, it kind of devalues the fact that, bro, these people are bringing massive amounts of attention to the league. You know what I'm saying? It's not a one-way street. And I think like if these people, if Ja and Ant don't want to be the face, don't want to be what LeBron currently is, what Michael Jordan was, you know what I'm saying? They don't... If they just want to collect their Adidas commercial bag and go, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And do their finger guns, bro, just let them, bro. You know what I'm saying? Bro, they're bringing massive amounts of attention and massive amounts of money.
Do they want to push that to the youth?
Bro, from what I saw, he did like this, right?
Yes.
That to me is
and you know that this dude...
That's a big whatever, bro. I couldn't even tell it was a gun, to be honest.
And
He literally is firing the clip, bro.
From the picture, I couldn't even
So you're saying you're cool with this when it looks like he's not learning from any of his mistakes?
I don't expect Ja Morant to learn from his mistakes.
And you just let him crash out. So you let him keep doing this.
How is pointing a finger gun a crash out?
Because
if he brought a gun to the locker room, then yeah, bro, that's terrible.
He just did that. He just actually pulled a gun on a kid. That's why he got suspended.
You're saying this just happened?
No, like last year.
That's why he got suspended though, because he clearly is playing with guns.
But this is what I'm saying. I'm saying that's true. Yes.
He flashed the gun on Instagram Live.
Yes, bro, we know this. That's why we're in this position.
So this isn't fucking funny.
But I'm saying he didn't bring a gun to the locker room. He didn't point a gun at somebody on the bench. he did finger guns.
But you don't need to keep playing with guns.
But you're not playing with guns. You're playing with hands.
Yeah, exactly.
But what is it insinuating?
It's two different things,
This is
bro.
way different than if he went on Instagram and posted the gun again.
But
it's
bro,
way different because I think part of my problem with it is that you use the same word for John Morant doing finger guns and Anthony Edwards irresponsibly bringing 3 children into this world.
Yes.
It's not the same level. These are not just both 2 cases of immaturity.
They are both 2 cases of immaturity, 100%.
But there's totally different levels. What Anthony Edwards is doing is far more harmful.
I agree.
It's affecting lives.
100%.
John Morant is...
I agree 100%. I agree 100%, bro. You are 1,000% right that what Anthony Edwards is doing is way worse than John Morant.
Yeah.
Both are immature. Just because one is more immature doesn't mean that one just isn't. You know what I mean?
I think what Ja did was immature because it's like, okay, dude, really? Like,
and then I also used a million other words to describe Anthony Edwards.
Okay.
Immature, irresponsible, careless, all the fucking things. Stupid, selfish, all of that.
Fair, but I think it stops at immature for Ja. Like he's being like petty. He's like playing with, oh, y'all like suspended me for gun shit, so now my celly's a little pew pew pew. It's petty and immature, but to me it's not harmful.
It's stupid as fuck. It's not taking, bro. We have to look at what he could be and what he represents. And I get that you don't want to be the face of the league, but no matter if you do or don't, you represent something more for yourself and your family and the fucking community, bro. You know that people look at you and us a certain way. So you on a nationally televised game, do you have to do that? It's the fact that he doesn't have to do it, and it's seeing another person crashing out, bro, and not learning from their mistakes. And we also are seeing videos of him still going to the club, still drinking during the season, and now it's affecting his play. This is the worst Ja has ever played in a season. This is a problem.
Damn, it feels like John Morant's like your son or something.
Bro, because I'm tired,
about it.
because I hate seeing someone who has everything in front of them not take the opportunity seriously. And I get it, like he's still going to be a millionaire. He still has all this. But then when you look at John Morant in fucking 10, 15 years and he's broke and out of money and the league has kicked him away, you know what I mean? All this bad shit happens and we see John Morant is not like doing well. Are we not going to be like, yo, we fucking like, what's it called? Enabled it. Mm-hmm. Like especially with the platform.
I disagree. That's on him. That's on him. His life is on him.
Of course it is.
So it's like he's extremely talented. He got himself in this position, right? He got himself to the most watched, biggest basketball league in the world. You know what I'm saying? So now he has the ball. What's he gonna do with it? Looks like he's gonna drop it. I don't necessarily think that I don't think the finger guns thing is the biggest thing in the world. We might just disagree on that. You know what I mean? But I do feel differently about you than this. I don't necessarily care too much about what he does with his own opportunity. You feel me? I don't see him as a role model either.
But you want to laugh at it? Is it funny? Is it really funny to you to see someone like just failing?
I think pettiness is funny to me.
No. Watching him fuck up his opportunity is funny?
He didn't fail. He just got fined.
But watching him fuck up his opportunity, this is a bigger problem. We see where this is going.
That's on him.
But is it funny to laugh at? Do you want to laugh at it?
Oh, I'm not laughing at him possibly fucking up the opportunity. I'm just more so if the scenario, I'm not putting that on him. But if the scenario you said down the line is true, where he's out of the league and doesn't have money, I'm not gonna feel bad for him. You feel me? It's like, bro, you had every opportunity.
But how many times has this happened to people in our community, bro?
I hear you. I just don't think Ja Morant is a role model, and I don't think he represents the black community.
What?
I don't think him solely represents like the black community.
Of course he doesn't.
You're trying to make this a bigger thing than just the finger guns. I feel like
because
and really,
this shit
it's really
happens
about
all the time.
I feel like it's more about an individual rather than like a greater.
But we see this happen all the time with fucking Ja Morant, with NBA YoungBoy, rappers, artists, fucking athletes, bro. So many people who come from these communities are given this amazing opportunity, and I feel like they don't take it as far as they could. And I feel like when we downplay it and we're like, oh, he's still rich, oh, it's all still gonna be fine at the end of the day, it just kind of sets a bad precedent. And I get that, like, if he fucks up, that is all on him. It is not my job to go fucking save John Morant at all. But I also don't want to just make it seem like what he's doing is okay when it's not, and it's fucking stupid.
Yeah, I see. Okay, I do see what you're saying, but what you're saying is a much deeper rooted issue, because it's like,
yes, I agree.
It's like if you again, I don't really know where all the people you stated come from, but I'll just assume that they came from backgrounds where they were disenfranchised, right? Where it's like they don't have a lot of money to begin with, and then they're given a whole bunch of money.
Yes.
It's kind of like what you said earlier. Like,
Yes.
there does need to be a system of education, even from like someone like me, bro. I do feel like if I had more financial education, I would be in a better place right now, because I do find myself in a position where I'm making some money now, and I feel like I'm just starting to know how to use it better, right? I think that somebody that doesn't come from any type of money and is given a whole bunch of money at once needs to be put in a situation where they are learning how to manage it if they don't have that education in that
Or
background.
fuck it, let's take it into music. If we want to just really like make it something that we can all understand and relate to, these kids that are getting signed off the streets and labels are putting an insane amount of money in their pockets and giving them no tools or resources to know how to use it. We're just supposed to laugh when they drop a crazy diss track on someone else. And they keep making the same type of music that has constantly got people killed. And we feed into that over and over again, and the same results keep happening.
That feels like a different situation.
Different conversation.
I think my example is, I think there's a difference between John Morant having previous gun problems. The previous things have been major problems, and I agree with you. The finger guns don't bother me, because it's like what if Anthony Edwards hit a game winner and as his celly, he rocked the baby to sleep? It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny.
No, it's not.
Oh, you don't think so?
No,
Okay.
Because you were just tripping about how it's such a big issue.
And-
so is it really still funny? Because now you laughing at the fucking kid. There's a real kid that is probably never gonna know his dad.
Damn.
And again, that is our. And then if we really want to do it, who's laughing at us? Who is it fucking funny to?
Damn me.
Exactly. And it's not fucking funny at all.
Okay.
This guy's mad passionate about. Miles, I don't want it to be like I don't hear you, because I hear you. I just think that these two are just a very funny, like the two people we mentioned in NBA Youngboy are funny people to like hang your hats on. I'm like, bro, these need to be better role models in society. I think when they first all came out the gate, we all knew it's like, bro, these are troubled individuals.
But they're also super talented individuals. And if we're talking about going into these communities and big upping these kids and showing them a different way, show them that you should take your life seriously. When I sit down with artists and I'm talking to them, it's, yo, you're a business. Treat yourself as such. Understand that you're going to be making a lot of money to where you could change yourself and your family's lives.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, but I can't save John Morant, so I'm gonna laugh at the finger guns. I can't save a kid, but I can't save John Morant.
It doesn't matter.
If I'm the NBA, I think my solution is to stop covering John Morant so much and talking about the gun stuff and talk about Amin Thompson, someone like that. You know what I'm saying? That like is doing similar amazing things, and you can big up. There's so many other players.
But the solution isn't to get rid of Ja.
I'm not saying get rid of. I'm saying move the spotlight. Because Ja has shown us time and time again, he does not know how to handle the spotlight. So let's move it to one of these other talented individuals that are just as entertaining and that are give them a chance to handle it.
Right, create real role models.
Or create a system where when these kids are coming into the league, there's other NBA players that are speaking with them and actually teaching them about their experiences and how to handle the money better.
You don't think that exists at all?
It does, and it's bad. And they talk about it. There's a rookie summit every year. I watch fucking Gilbert Arenas' podcast because he's talked about this stuff. It's bullshit. No one gives a fuck about it. No one cares about it because they bring in whack people, Poindexters to fucking talk to them, and straight arrow NBA players who these people don't look at as cool.
Yeah.
But if you bring in Steven Jackson, who comes from their community, if you bring in Gilbert Arenas, who had a gun violence thing, literally fucking changed the entire course of his career. These are people who need fucking help and will actually respect because these niggas are hoopers. But if fucking CJ McCollum is there speaking every year and you see the same problems persisting because no one fucking is a CJ McCollum or respects where he comes from, you're gonna keep ending up with the same results. But rather than completely pointing the finger at John Morant, who grew up in a situation where he never had the tools or resources to understand this, or pointing the finger at Anthony Edwards, who grew up in a single parent home with siblings and never knew his dad, speak about it with people who actually come from these communities. Reform the systems that are, bro.
I agree with all of that.
I just don't think I don't think it's funny because you've literally seen me get mad when I come home or when I'm talking about what's happening with these fucking label meetings, bro, and the type of people that move them in the music industry. Mm-hmm. And it's like, yo, they're laughing at us.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care about our music being fucking actually intellectual. And like, why can't Mike ever be signed? Why will Mike never be pushed?
But I think
all that
you're
shit.
talking about putting money. You're talking about like funding. It's
Yes.
like an opposite. You're
Yes.
talking about labels funding
Yes.
problematic things that they're laughing
Yes.
at.
Yes.
Whereas the NBA is finding Ja Morant. Like, I don't think, like, yes, on this podcast, yeah, I said it was funny. I thought the celebration was moderately funny.
Yes.
And that's probably wrong.
Yeah.
You've convinced me that it's probably wrong for me to think that way. But I don't think the system is big upping and rewarding Ja for acting this way.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm like, maybe we also just don't cover it so much.
Yeah.
I do think there's benefit in that too. Like, it doesn't, because a lot of the problems that you said is an example, making an example of for kids. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Not that many people watch regular season NBA games. Grizzlies Warriors, that one probably got some view.
The nationally televised games.
But you could, in your post-game coverage on SportsCenter that night, on ESPN socials, we could tailor the content. We don't need to post this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It could be quiet.
Yeah.
Oh, he did that. It's fine. It like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, what Spencer's saying is part of the solution too. It's
Yes.
like, what are we choosing to focus on, right? Are we going to continue to focus on problematic players that point finger guns because it's going to get us clicks and engagement? Or are we going to, as
I mean, I don't think
but
sports
wait,
centers-
hold on.
Yeah,
But are we going to, as a league, try to help create the role models that we say we want so much,
Yes.
right? Try to create the next LeBron. Why are we focusing on and Ja when there's other talented players in the NBA that maybe they're not as talented? I don't know. But I'm sure that there's other people that they could be highlighting that could be the role models. And then that program, like you said, that program that you were talking about would be way more improved. Because it's like, if we're putting these people in the program, then
don't
it's
think
like they're
sports-
already on TV.
yes.
You know,
It's-
people care about what's in
Yeah,
front of them and what's on
100%.
TV.
I don't
and who's
think
getting the
Sports Center
spotlight.
is talking about it though.
You don't?
I think that platforms like us are talking about it because I think the NBA is on the same.
Where
page
did you
as
see where did you see the clip?
on fucking Twitter? I don't even know what account I saw it on.
I definitely saw it on an ESPN account.
Okay, I don't know.
It goes back to a bigger problem with media and coverage. And it
Yes.
honestly goes back to our Bronny thing.
Yes.
When we were
Yes.
talking about Bronny.
Yes.
Because why are we not talking about the Rockets? Why is that not what's on SportsCenter? The Pistons. There are exciting stories in the NBA
Yes.
that center around the game
Yes.
and great playing,
100%.
young developing players like
Yes.
really stepping into their own.
Yes.
But all we want to talk about are the Lakers and Bronny and LeBron and Luka and Ja's problems.
I see a
and
lot about
Ant's
Shea.
problems.
I see a lot about Shea. I see a lot about the Cavs.
The Thunder, a little bit. The Cavs aren't even talked about it enough for being the best team in the NBA.
Yeah.
There are stories here in smaller markets.
There's
that the
problems
media,
with media coverage.
yeah, yeah,
100%.
Yeah,
I
that's-
100% agree.
yeah.
I really think that that's something that needs to be improved in the NBA. I think that the people but then so say you're a Stephen A. Smith
Yeah.
and you care about Ja as a person and you've interacted with him individually. Is it your duty to speak about it in a certain way when you get on your ESPN platform?
It's a good question. I do think that not speaking about it is the best way to play your part in making an overall change.
So then is Ja just going to walk away thinking that no one cares about it and it's a fine thing to continue to do? Or
No, he's
should he
gonna-
feel bad about doing it?
No,
or you're saying just let him be fine.
he got fined.
I think
so-
let
And
him- I think let him be
and not make him
fined.
feel any shame for it. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. What you're saying, I think it actually makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, in my head, initially, I'm just like, oh, I think you should make him feel bad about this, and make him feel like,
And-
yo, this isn't cool.
Yeah, and I don't know exactly where I fall on that either because I hear you and I kind of agree with that, but also I do think the best way is no attention, and that's the best way to promote a good role model and a good image to everyone.